Thank you, everyone, for being with us on this beautiful Friday. In fact, it is a beautiful Friday in Florida. I've been in Washington, D.C., and any place would be beautiful after you got out of that place. So this is what we call deja vu all over again. Let me reintroduce you to Jessie Lopez. Jessie Lopez is 39 years of age. On June the 12th in 2018, we charged her with 6 counts of unlicensed practice of health care. We did this in concert with the Department of Health, the Florida Department of Health, who are just absolutely, totally awesome. This lady ran a clinic in Winter Haven, Drop It Like It's Hot. It was a weight loss clinic. And she was portraying herself as a nurse. I can tell you Brad Copley from the State Attorney's Office, who is simply the very best, got a strong probation plea. And she, with her probation, obviously agrees to obey the law and not to violate the law again. Can you believe it? Jessie lied to our prosecutor, the state attorney's office, the courts, and the judges. Do you know why? Because, well, she set her up a new place in Auburndale called Jessie's Gym. And if you look at Jessie's Gym, she's still so arrogant that she has Drop It Like It's Hot on her gym advertisement on the front of her building. Did you hear me? She's already been arrested and is on probation for her Drop It Like It's Hot program. And she creates another gym business using the same vernacular. Well, we're going to drop her like she's hot in the county jail. And then when she's steamed up in the county jail, we're going to drop her like she's hotter in the state prison because she just doesn't get it. So let's fast forward to February the 7th. Once again, the Department of Health, who are simply the best partners in the world to conduct an investigation. Believe you me, if you're proactively doing things wrong, this DOH investigative team here is all over it. Partnered with us, and on February 7th, we began another criminal investigation into Jessie Lopez. We went in an undercover capacity where she offered to write prescriptions and provide hormone shots called HCG. It's used in fad diets and lipo shots and B-complex shots. In fact, she was teaching us how to give ourselves the HCG shots for $300. She does a consult, provides a vial and needles, but then you have to come back weekly for a couple of other shots from her. So as we went into the room, we discovered what? She's got 6 medical exam rooms in this gym. She has a few pieces of gym equipment, but they said basically the gym's pretty lame. But there's 6 medical exam rooms. And we went in on a couple of occasions. Subsequent to that, our prosecutor and Brian Haas's office is remarkable with their cooperation through Brad Copley, and we were able to put together 2 search warrants, one on her business, one on her home, and we worked also with probation officers. So we go to her house to arrest her and serve a search warrant. We tell her while we're at the house, don't communicate with each other. Does she listen to us? Well, of course not. So she communicates with someone who's reported to be a friend or a cousin, and that friend or cousin calls her boyfriend, Edward Forge, who owns Forge Construction, and tells the boyfriend, go to the business and get the stuff out because the cops are at Jessie's house. So Edward goes to the business and starts hauling out medicine and needles. Newsflash, we were watching. So we arrest Mr. Forge for tampering with evidence. Now Jessie's married, but not to Mr. Forge. You see, this is a boyfriend on the side in addition to being marriage. So the boyfriend has managed to get himself arrested. He also did the construction on the gym. So Edward, I'd highly recommend another girlfriend if you get out of this with your construction license. We file 5 new criminal charges against Jessie in addition to her violation of probation. She's got things like operating a pharmacy without a license, practicing medicine as a medical doctor without a license, and practicing as a pharmacist without a license. So ladies and gentlemen, our goal in all seriousness is to send her to prison. But let me give this warning out to the community. Some of this medicine is supposed to be refrigerated. We found some of it was not refrigerated. We found some of the vials in a mason jar. Did you hear me? In a mason jar in the car, unrefrigerated. That's not healthy. I'm not a medical professional. I hope that didn't get me in trouble for practicing medicine without a license. But that's not healthy. So if you were going to Jessie's gym, I got some news for you. Your nurse who's not a nurse, who's practicing medicine as a doctor who's not a doctor, who's running a pharmacy and is not licensed, who is running a gym with a few pieces of equipment, not very professional, is in jail, and you may have some medical problems. She may have injected you with some of this stuff that maybe she got out of a mason jar, out of a car, instead of out of a refrigerator like it's supposed to be stored. We'd like to talk to you. We know there are a lot of victims of Jessie Lopez, and some of them don't realize that she's not legit because, as we said before, she sets these exam offices up to look professional, and at the end of the day, she takes advantage of people. $300 for a consult. Well, I'm going to give you a free consult today. Don't go to her. Don't go to anybody else like that. You're messing with your health. That's totally free. Compliments of Grady Judd. Any questions?
I know on Facebook it said the grand opening of that gym was October 4th. Did you guys know anything about it before February?
Do you know, we don't discuss our investigative techniques and prowess, but I will tell you historically what happens. When somebody decides to systematically violate the law, they don't necessarily do it all at once. Sometimes they do a little and wait, and do a little and wait, and then it catches up with them. Other times, they may be violating the law, and it just takes us a while to circle back around to them because we have a limited amount of resources, and we're putting other people in jail. And make no mistake about it, people who work real hard violating the law to go to jail, we want to help them out and allow them to get there all on their own. So it could have been a combination of things. It could have been she didn't really get actively involved, or it could have been between the Department of Health and the Sheriff's Office and our limited resources that it just took us a little while for that to bubble back up to the surface. But I can assure you of this, that we get to them. We get to them all.
Sheriff, how does it make you feel to see that you all arrested her the first time and then she allegedly went back and did the same thing?
Well, it warms my heart that she's in jail. And I'm glad that apparently no one's died from her inappropriate medical treatment. But, you know, I could say that it makes my heart hot, but I don't want to drop my heart like it's hot. So I'll just tell you, it warms my heart that she's back in jail. I'm sorry she's taking advantage of people. You know, people legitimately go to you expecting that you'll give them professional help. And of course, that's what our medical profession does every day. They save lives, they make people's life better. And then you get someone like this. Jessie's out for Jessie. She doesn't give a rat's patoot about you.
Sheriff, have you found her supplier? And if so, is the supplier a legit supplier, or is it someone that more arrests might be made?
That's an incredibly good question, for which I have no intention of answering, because we don't talk about ongoing investigations.
She had made another post 10 days after her first arrest saying, "This is only temporary, I'm going to be back," and people were really sad that she had been arrested because they wanted to lose weight.
Right.
What do you tell the people who are dumb enough to go back?
Well, let me explain to the people who go there to her want to lose weight. And they spend a lot of money. They could buy a book, but you spend money. I'll give you some free weight loss advice. Quit eating so much, and you'll lose weight. I'm proof of that. But next year, you'll probably see me because I've eaten too much. There's a clear indication on how to lose weight. Exercise more and eat less. That's free, and it's healthy. But there are people that will follow her and take this medicine, whether it's right or wrong. But there's a lot that's being duped by her, and I'm sorry for them.
Are you concerned that in 6 to 8 months, we may be right back here again if she gets out and does this again?
I've given that a great deal of thought, and I've talked to my dearest friend in the prosecutorial business, one of my two dearest friends, Brad Copley. He assures me that probation is a gift that she abused, and that he will push forward that if you abuse the gift that you've been given, then the penalties increase until you comply. So my request and our prosecutor's position is the gift didn't work, so maybe a stint in the state prison would be appropriate. And that's what I'm betting on.
Sheriff, how many tips did you all receive the second time around that this was happening?
Several.
Like dozens, hundreds?
About 9,000,004. I don't know. Several. But 9,000,004 sounded good, didn't it?
It's a lot of tips.
It's a lot of tips. We're busy. We don't need any more tips. We got this. But we do need witnesses. So if you've been victimized, I would suggest to you, you've been a victim of theft by fraud, you can contact us. We need to talk to you.
From what you said, it sounds like you're still investigating her supplier, and also if there was any victims, because then that could be theft by fraud.
We just served the search warrant yesterday, and as you well know, we not only gather the physical evidence, i.e. the drugs, but we also gather the backup evidence, such as records. So there's a lot of investigation still to do, but I can assure you, between the Department of Health, and they're a great investigative team, and our detectives, which are simply the best at working these undercover investigations, we'll bring this all in for a landing very soon. Any other questions? It's a beautiful Friday in Florida. Have a great weekend. See y'all later.
Sheriff, is it possible to get a couple soundbites from you on unrelated things?
Well, it depends on